Good evening, good evening, good evening, or good night, or whichever one you want to refer it to. How are you all doing? Grasping myself together. Well, I'm on. What is in here? The mask. Okay, I keep them up here. I keep them up here. So sometimes I drop the mask. I don't know where I put the mask at. I'm like, what mask at? My buddies keep everything down up in here. Anyway, how are you all doing? How are you all doing? I know I was on my book, The Healing, but I decided to give it a break tonight. Basically, I was really, really busy. So, really didn't have time to talk about it. And it's Saturday. And usually, Saturdays, we just kick back and chill and just doing our regular things. So, I really didn't have time to really focus on that. So, with that being said, I wanted to come out and really talk about my dating stories. I wanted to share that. And I wanted to talk about dating nowadays. It seems like dating nowadays is really challenging for a lot of people. It seems to be like a trending topic that a lot of people seem to be single and they seem they're right, finding the right mate. Or if they are finding the right mate, it's not the mate they really prefer. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get into it. Okay. So I think I started dating around 1996, which I was really, really young. I'm not going to say that was dating. That was more or less being involved with people that I didn't have any business being involved with. So I ended up hooking up with my mother's friend's son. So my mother friend's son was really, really advanced. He was really, really grown. So he called me one day on the phone and he was like, hello. I was like, yeah, hello. He was like, are you the little girl that go to Kenwood? I'm like, Kenwood? Why? Who are you? He told me. So we talked. I'm being grown and I ran away. Ran away, lost my virginity with him, and got pregnant. Yes. And got pregnant, right? Like it was only 6 times pregnant. So after that, I had a baby. I was a single mother. And so I did a lot of talking to people. If anybody ever heard of the party line, I used to talk on the party line. And so it'll start off like guys looking for girls, press one. Girls looking for guys, press two. Gay guys, press three. And I'll be on the, hey, how you doing? I'm Chanel. And so when I'm talking to these guys, I'm end up talking to them. I'm going on blind dates, meet people. I'm on that. I'm 5'5". I weigh 120. I wasn't never 120. I've been 120 since for the longest. 150. I don't know how much I weigh. You meet these people, they pull up, they looking a hot mess. You like, I gotta be right back. I think I gotta meet my mother upstairs. So I'll end up talking to different guys. And it was times where out of my insecurities, I talked to people because I was lonely and I wanted to fill that void of being with somebody. There was numerous times that I met people that I end up kicking it with them and I felt like 2 cents afterwards. I remember this one guy I met. I didn't meet him on the party line. I met him in Chicago. So I was going to the restaurant and I'm sitting there in the restaurant. He comes up to me, sit down at the table and drink water. Didn't pay for my food, didn't do anything. So we started talking. My gut told me, don't talk to him, don't mess with him, but I did anyway. I was working at the hotel downtown. I told my friend, I said, if something happened to me, call the police. Hold on. Something must be psychologically wrong with me at that moment. Yeah, dumb. So you feel that there's something wrong and you tell somebody to call the police and you go with them anyway? So I go with him. We sitting at his house. No, I go and sit on his couch. There was already somebody there, but we dropped them off. So I'm sitting on the couch. As I'm sitting on the couch, he comes up and says, don't sit on my couch. Come in my room after we drop the people off. He comes to start talking crazy. The person's hair was cut off. The penis was cut off and put in their mouth. I'm like, oh Jesus, what have I got myself into? Something told me not to go with this guy. I'm sitting in this dark room with him. He trying to do you know what with me. So as we get to the point of he trying to do whatever with me, I don't know, something came real strong in my body, like, because he forced himself on me. I don't know what happened to me, but the mood started changing. He was like, you are powerful. I was, pardon me, I was all excited, and then something with you changed the atmosphere. We get outside it's daylight about the next day. He like, yeah, you gonna give me your check. You gonna give me your check. And what? You gonna take my check? I started looking around. I'm like, where we at? Because I'm going to send my brothers out here on you. Long story short, when we got back to Chicago, baby, because it was in the suburbs, I jumped out that car. I did not return. From that point on, I'm steady like talking to people. I go to the club, I talk to people. I was like, you know what? I'm good on Black American men. I'm good. Because I was hurt so much from Black American men. Like I kept trying and trying and trying. And it was like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? What's with me? What is my mindset? Why am I connecting with all these different people that this is not who I am? You know, I remember a time where this one guy picked me up and it was my birthday and I just wanted to be with him. We end up going to the motel and he bought me some ghetto, what is it? I don't know. I'm not judging nobody. A drink. So he bought the drink. I'm kicking it with him. And to me, that's not what I wanted to do. I mean, at that moment, I know that's not what I wanted to do, but I wanted to be in the company of somebody. I wanted to have that companion. So I settled a lot of times because out of the fact of being lonely, not having my family around, not having people around to really love me properly, it was just that void of missing somebody in my life. So, you know, time fast forward. And also, I said I wasn't going to talk too much about the book, but I want to talk about the part of a mindset of what was in my brain at that moment that could have had me connected to why I was behaving the way I was behaving. It was so many different instances that I can say and so many stories. That wasn't my purpose in life to really attract these type of men, but I was wondering, what was I doing wrong? Why am I so vulnerable? You know, why do I want to go out with somebody so bad that I'm willing to compromise? You know, and I used to go out so much with people that would pretty much do whatever and make me feel like trash. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me tell y'all this, I met a pimp. Baby, your girl CB today almost got pimped out. I remember my girl, she come over, she bring these guys over to the house. One guy come over to the house, he got on a snake skin, gator jacket. He come over there, I'm like, chocolate, sexy chocolate. I'm looking at him. He bring this other guy with him. The guy kept saying, man, pimp, man, player. Yeah, pimp, player. I said, what you keep saying pimp and player for? I'm a pimp. I'm like, oh my God. I'm saying to myself, I thought pimps was extinct. What do you mean you a pimp? Long story short, he slid over there like a snake on me. He was like, majority of the time when females, you know, mess around with men and sell their body, they got low self-esteem. I'm sitting there like, oh shit. At the time, I'm in the house with just me and my friend. And whatever, I'm in there by myself. Where your mom at? I'm 16. I ain't gonna go into all of that right now. That's a whole book. But at that moment, I'm in the house. This guy slid up on me, trying to pimp me. Before you know it, an argument kicked off where he ended up leaving. Why I see this man on the HBO special with Don Juan. Baby, I was almost, he was trying to pimp me out. He would love to have his butter skin, brown skin pimping on his stroll. I don't think so. But it was only by the grace of God. Only by the grace of God that I wasn't pimped out or could have got on drugs. It was only by the grace of God. I could tell you all my life and kept meet people. And before you know it, it was like, I took that time out to really reflect on me to figure out what is with me. It kind of reminded me of that story, that broken girl story that we heard and I heard on Five Babe Channel. It really made me think about that now that I'm talking. Like I was that broken girl with those so many insecurities and so many problems seeking for that love. My father died when I was 2. My mother was on drugs. So why, and I have to fill this void. I need this void filled of love. But once I got to know God, God filled that void for me. God filled that void. And I was married once before. This is my second marriage and my final marriage by Jesus' name. Amen. I was married to someone, and it was a lot of baggage that I brought in, a lot of confusion, and he was a good person, but then he had his baggage also. And I brought in a lot of drama into a lot of confusion, a lot of things that I did not know about myself. So after we got a divorce, I end up was like, talking to more people, talking to people again. And when I come home, I feel empty inside. I feel empty. I feel like this have to be better than this. What can I do to change? So I start again going back to God, praising God, worshiping God. And that song is called Falling in Love with Jesus was the best thing I ever done in my life. I can't go into the whole song. I was neglected by so many people. I felt like I was looking in the wrong places, and God was the one that was going to help me fill the void. After that, weight started coming off of me. I started losing weight. I was spending more time with my kids. I was connected with my children. I was connected with myself. And then that's when I met my husband that I'm with now. And by the grace of God, it'll be 7 years. But it was that I prayed before we got married. I prayed. It was like, God, if this is the person you want me to be with, my pastor wife said, get a prayer chair and pray. I prayed in every sense. Times where I think roads got rocky, God brought us closer together, and God helped me change in the process. So with that being said, I wanted to share this part of the book. And I said I wasn't going to get too deep into the book, but I want to read this part of the book that really reflects. And so and I don't know if you watched before, but if you haven't, it's called You Can Heal Your Life. And of course with God, but this part of the book says the innermost belief for everyone I have worked with is always, I'm not good enough. We frequently add to that, and I don't do enough or I don't deserve. Does this sound like you? Are you saying or implying or feeling that you are not good enough? But for whom and according to whose standards? If this belief is very strong in you, then how can you possibly have created a loving, joyous, prosperous life, healthy life? Somehow your main subconscious belief would always be contradicting it. Somehow you would never quite get it together, for something would always be going wrong somewhere. So with that being said, my subconscious was feeling that I did not deserve better. My subconscious believed that I'm not good enough for someone that, or maybe a pastor. Okay, let's take for example. I have a lady in my life that I knew that was like a cousin in my life. She went to college, and when she went to college, and I asked her, "How you meet your husband?" She was like, "Oh, we were at the bookstore, and I met him there, and like we hit it off, and now we're married." I'm like, "What? Okay." And I look better than her. That's what I thought. But see, it don't make a difference about this physical. It's physical, it's temporary. But in her subconscious, she knew she deserved better. She knew that this was the type of person. I'm not going to say her marriage is perfect, but what mark did I miss in life for dating? Now, for some people, they'll judge you saying, okay, you got 3 children. Okay, I got 3 children. The first child I had her when I was 15. Okay, I got married, and then that marriage didn't work out, and I have an 11-year-old. So, okay, that's that. I tried with him, but I waited all that time in between. Now, my last child is about my husband. But the fact of the matter is, that's not how I wanted my life and how I pictured it, that I would have 3 children fathers. That's not what my story was. That's not, but what was in my self-conscious to feel that different conflicts or people that I was attracting, what's in my mind? I felt like I wasn't good enough. So say, for example, you meet a brother that's qualified or whoever you like. We say brother, everybody, human, mankind, brother, sister, but African Americans, because we say my brother, or whoever you attracted to, and you feel like this is what you deserve or what you, okay, you attracting to somebody. You attracting this type of cat. Okay, so that's how I'm talking. So you attract this type of cat, and you like, he looked nice. And then you get to know him. He living in his mama's basement. He don't have a job. He doing drugs. Okay, so, but he's slick. He's smooth with it. But it's something about him that draws you into him. So what is it about you and your subconscious to feel like this is what you deserve? Is that what you truly, truly want? We as human beings, majority of us value education. We value family at the core. We value love. So what is it about us to feel that this is all that we are qualified for? Example, when I married my husband, many times I felt myself, I'm talking about my husband that I'm with now, I found myself sabotaging the relationship. Because when I met him, he 30-something years old, didn't have no kids, got a master's degree, speak 5 different languages. Okay. I'm working on getting my associates. I told you I had 2 kids before. I had all these things against me that was odds against me, working a job that I felt like that was mediocre. But this brother qualified and looking good. Do I deserve him? But who am I to say what I deserve, or who am I? Am I subconscious to whose standards? Whose standards do I feel like I'm not qualified? Why am I not qualified? I am qualified. I'm an amazing woman. Let me tell you about the good things that I have. See, that's another thing. We want to look about man-made certificates. What about your certificates? Are you smart? Are you a kind-hearted person? Are you a giver? Are you loving? Are you patient? Are you kind? What about the good things about you? We need to have badges of honor of what, we don't have to wait for nobody to give us no badges. Give yourself a badge, baby. I got all these different badges on me that I'm going to make for myself that God already put on me. I'm loving. I'm kind. I'll talk to you in this grocery store and motivate you. I love motivating people. Many days, let me tell you one story about real quick. And I am not talking about myself, I'm just telling you about who I am as a person, but I felt like I wasn't good enough. So I go to school out here. I went to the kitchen to get me something to eat in the kitchen. So I'm talking to the girl in there. And I see her. I said, hey, how you doing? She said, good. I said, girl, what's going on? Nothing much. So we talked about school. So as we started talking about school, I said, so you in school? Now, if you work at the college, you get to school, you get education practically free. Baby, I'll mop that floor, cook the chicken, fry the chicken and everything else if I could get education for free. You know what I'm saying? So she said, no. I said, baby, why you ain't going back to school? I said, you got to go back to school. How many kids you got? She said, 1. I said, why not? What do you have to lose? Why? You already in the college. Hey, sis, you already in the college. Why not come there and why not go to school? Why? She started. Thought about it. I don't know what else I said, but I was talking on this into school. That education wasn't for me, but I want to see my sister win. So wait a minute. I started telling her I go to this church, Redeemed Grace Sanctuary. I'm proud of my church, RCCG, Nigerian Church. So I started telling her about my church. I said, my church over there on State Street, my pastor African. She said, your pastor African? I said, yes, he is. And so then she said she went to the doctor office. Now my pastor's a doctor. Why she tell my pastor about me, how I motivated her to go to school. So he said, sister, I said, yeah, you talked to her about going to school? I said, yes. I said, yes. He said, I talked to a woman about going back to school. I said, I did. I did. He said, yeah, you convinced her to go back to school. I said, what? Me? Farida? The girl that was doing whatever. And then, I told her, being out there doing whatever, hanging with so and so, did not know my worth. I'm the girl that convinced her to go to school, the girl that had to go back to get her high school diploma, the girl that's still trying to go to school to finish her associates. By the way, 3 classes short of my associates, okay? And I'm going to keep going. Know that, period. So anyway, I said, okay. I motivated her. I see her to today. I go in the kitchen over there because, honey, I go with the kitchen, the cafeteria, because I got to get me something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I sit over there. She in school, sitting down reading her book. But I felt like I wasn't worthy of being somebody's wife. I will encourage my husband. I will encourage my friends. See, that's the problem. We shortchange ourselves and we devalue ourselves because we're so used to letting the past and our subconscious, what happened in those failures, happen. It failed. It's over. And this is that. I'm a failure. If I did this, then whatever I'm thinking, what is people thinking? Oh, hell with them. If God wanted these men to beat my husband or before they, God would have kept him fire by force. God would have had him be my man if that was what the case was. With whoever was that meant to leave, he wasn't meant to be. See, but I prayed this time. You got to pray for what you want. You got to ask God for what you want. It doesn't seem so good. My dating stories wasn't so easy. But if I did not go through what I went through, I couldn't be here for you. I couldn't be here for you. I had to go through for you. I had to go through so you can avoid it. Some of y'all may be at home right now, want to be with somebody, but God is there with you, baby. When you wait for that right person, God will send them right away. God said, you know what? You think you're on the sideline, but you're not. I am nurturing you. I am getting you to where I need you to be. So I understand how it feels to be alone. I've been way more single than I have been married. And I am married only by the grace of God. My husband's from Haiti, baby. There are broken communities like here in America, but it's by the grace of God. If somebody wants you to be in your life, ain't nothing you gonna do about it. The funny story, when we met, our birthday on the same day. I said, what? Your birthday the same day as mine? You gotta be kidding me, baby. I said, happy. And when I wake up, I say, happy birthday to me and nobody else. And he said, and see, the selfish part about it is that you want it all to yourself. And somebody said, you gotta share your birthday with your man. I ain't have nobody to share with. What am I complaining for? You know what? I'd rather share with somebody than not share at all. See, that's the thing. And another thing, people don't want to sacrifice it. You don't want to sacrifice the labor that it comes with it. You don't want to sacrifice the energy. He getting on my nerve. Everybody getting on everybody's nerves. But what's the 9 out of 10 that the person have? What's the 8 out of 10 the person have? We just want to get rid of each other. I get it. My son got on my nerves so bad, I felt like packing him in a suitcase and sending him down into Nigeria and putting him in the luggage because he keep doing the same thing. But then I had to humble myself after I was mad with him. And think about this. I love him. And if I give up on him, who else do he have? If I give up on him, then what? Because people gave up on me. Because people treated me like trash, or because he made mistakes, and I make mistakes in being a parent. And I had to go back and apologize and say, that's not what I want to do again. You made me angry. And we have to do that in relationships, especially when you know that you've been through all of that stuff with dating this mess out here. It's a lot of mess. And people think, oh, let me be with a woman. That's going to be better. I'm not dissing. If that's your business, that's your business. But if you was dating a man at first and you were attracted to men and you were hurt by people and you think a woman going to treat you better, baby, newsflash, it'd probably be even worse. Two people on a cycle at once and a woman trying to fight and challenge me, and one person got to submit to be the woman, one person got to be the man. Look at the relationship. They want to sink like a woman and a man. What's the purpose then? What's the purpose of us being together? What's the purpose? I don't know. And the thing is, I got good girlfriends around me, and I'm good with that. Now, if I'm not knocking people, if that's what you want to be with, but my point that I'm saying is don't let nobody disappoint you from all those disappointments. And if I would have gave up, I wouldn't be here today to tell you about what I did, about what I've been through. It's like the Lion King. Anybody seen the Lion King? Okay, the Lion King, you see how he was hanging in the pigs and the Rex, Kuna Matata's. There's no work for the rest of his day. His uncle told him he killed his daddy. He went out there kicking it in the woods with the pigs, saying, Kuna Matata, there's no worries. He seen his woman. She said, come back to the kingdom, Mustafa. He didn't know who he was until he saw his father in the water. His father and his water in the sky and said, come back to the kingdom. When he came back, immediately everything started turning green. Because he was ordained. He had to go through the midst of the storm. He had to hang with the pigs and the rats. He had to be out there slinging in the dirt. He had to know how it was to feel like what it was to go through. He had to go through all of that. If he did not go through all of that, he would not. Look at him. Now he know what a true definition to be a king is. He know what it is to be a king. Don't underestimate people that have been through things. Don't devalue someone. For example, if you meet a man and you may have a whole master's degree and he has small education. It don't look, is he determined to win? I'm not saying nurse him and put him on your womb, on your boob and feed him. But I'm asking you, let's say the Amish. The Amish people only got 7th grade education. They out here building houses. They living a simple life and they loving each other. Just with the basic principles of God. God never said anything in the word about education. I'm not saying not be established. He can be a chef. Okay. He could have got in trouble before. Okay. But have he changed his life around? Now, I ain't talking about no pedophiles now. No. Let's get that real clear. Because I ain't no killer, but don't push me. I'm talking about somebody that made mistakes, that did some things that's really, he in a situation where he changing his life around. That's what I'm talking about. So I just want to challenge you all to really find out what's your subconscious like with life in general, or who are you attracting in your life? What are you attracting? What is it can you do to change things? Again, the book is called You Can Heal Your Life. And so the book is basically, and for you all who have not seen the book, it's talking about different things on success, prosperity, relationships, building the new, how to change, all these different things it's talking about. It's really phenomenal. And like I said, I haven't read the whole entire book and I didn't get into it today because I was busy with Mama's. This is Angie, my daughter. She really had me going, honey. So I really want to challenge everybody to, if you get a chance to look into the book, if you can look online, see what the book is about. Also, really, journaling and really reflecting on your life to really see exactly what it is that and who you're bringing into your life. Because again, at that time of my life, who I was a broken little girl and looking for love. And at the end of the day, we really do need love. That is, it's all the songs is basically, a lot of songs is about love. Love is a beautiful thing. But if you not want to be with anybody, that's fine too. Nobody be like, I don't feel like being bothered. That's cool. But then search on the journey of loving yourself and loving others and doing work. You can't be Mother Teresa, but be close to her, honey. Go out there and be a missionary and do what God calls you to do. There's people out there hungry. There's people in need. When my apartment caught fire, there was many people that helped me, and I thank God for their lives. And guess what? I'm going to pay it forward and do the same thing. So It doesn't mean that's not just it. My dating stories was my dating stories for a reason. My hardships was my hardships for a reason because I'm actually to be here to know what God called me to do. I've been in a lot of wilderness in the woods singing Kuna Matata. There's no worries, honey. People treat me any type of way. I know what I'm worth now. I am not nobody's stool where you're gonna walk over me. Now, if I choose to overlook it and turn my other cheek, like the Bible say, it's only by the grace of God. Now, I'm not a fool. I will forgive, but I won't forget. Sometimes I just may say, you know what, I'm gonna move on. Because I need God to forgive me. I need Jesus to forgive me. So who am I not to forgive? I need to forgive to be able to be healed and to be able to be prosperous. There's a lot of wounds on me that you can see and you can in physical. Actually, I have a scar. You see this right there? My mother did that to me. There's a lot of things my mother did to me, but that's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine like okay, it's fine. It means I'm okay and I'm good with that. God, that was my story. And I thank you, Lord, for my trials and tribulations. I never would have made it without him. I would have lost it all. I would have lost my mind, but I didn't. I was in the pigs, in the woods, and the rats singing Kuna Matana. There's no word for the rest of my days. So now that I'm able to heal more, now God is making me where I can go back home and go to be to Chicago more. God want me to do missionaries there. It's fine. But I just want to challenge everybody. And thank you. I'm so glad it's encouraging, Davina. I appreciate that. I love you so much. I just want to challenge everybody to continue to do that soul searching on ourselves. And I'm doing it on me because I know I got a lot of wounds on me and I'm healing to be better. So thank you so much for listening. I could take up so much time and go on and on and on and on coming up with stuff, but I'm not going to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, if they come in the spirit's hit, then I'm going to talk. But I just want to thank you all so much for listening to me and letting me talk about my story. And if everybody have stories to share, and and at the same time, that's how we grow. So again, to recap, what's the subconscious? What is your mind like? What energies are you pulling in? Who are you bringing in your life? What is it that you are attracting? And now, when you're able to do that and reflect on that, then you can switch your style up and then be able to grow towards something bigger and better. And nobody on this earth have it all. Because if they had it all and they knew it all, then baby, they will be God. And I doubt it. Nobody's God. Well, we little guys, but not big God. You get it. Thank you for listening. This is See Beyond Today. And make sure you hit like, well, click like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, tell a friend. And I'll meet you all back here real soon. You hear? Have a good night. Bye. Thank you for listening.